If pain had a face, it would be covered in burn scars. For me, that face belonged to an 8-year-old boy named Andrew. I met Andrew in my 3rd grade class. His burn scars, thick, raised lines of skin, covered half of his face and body. He moved cautiously, as if his scars were limiting him. But there was more to Andrew than just his scars. He always wore a white dress shirt and a little red bow tie, which gave him a unique charm. In class, he seemed smart, especially at math. But there was a sadness in his eyes that made me wonder what he had been through. I didn't know how Andrew got those scars, but I noticed that the other kids kept their distance. At recess, they didn't play with him, and at lunch, he sat by himself. I wanted to reach out, but I didn't know what to say or how to act, so I did nothing, just like everyone else. And in that hesitation, the distance between us grew. I didn't know how to cross that divide. So before I knew it, Andrew became just another kid I never got to know. He remained engulfed in his loneliness, isolated by our discomfort, a haunting reminder of the cost of silence and inaction. That memory seared into my mind, sparking a lifelong curiosity about both the visible scars and the invisible wounds we all carry. Today, as a trauma psychologist, I've made it my mission to redefine what it means to survive a burn, working towards the future where no child or adult has to face their physical or emotional scars alone. Each year, nearly 500,000 people in the United States suffer burns severe enough to need medical treatment. That's enough people to fill not just 1, but 7 NFL stadiums. These people are injured by flames, grease, hot liquids, hot objects, chemicals, electricity, or road rash. And if you've ever microwaved a pizza roll for too long, you know that molten lava cheese belongs on that list too. Did you know that skin is our largest organ? Its nerve endings allow us to sense touch, temperature, and pain. Burn pain is one of the worst imaginable. When those nerve endings are damaged, every touch, every movement can feel unbearable. What's worse is that the treatment, surgeries, dressings, physical therapy, can trigger even more pain. And for many, the pain lingers for weeks, months, and even years. But beneath the visible wounds, there is another battle being fought, one that we can't see. For burn survivors, healing isn't just about survival. It's about reclaiming their identity, confidence, and connection in a world that often doesn't see beyond their scars. Let me tell you about Sarah, who learned just how true that is. It's a beautiful, hot summer afternoon. Sarah, a 32-year-old mom, is grilling out with friends and her 5-year-old daughter, Emma. Sarah has a warm, approachable smile, always the life of the party. The aroma of sizzling steaks fills the air. Laughter echoes around the yard as Emma runs around chasing bubbles. Music plays in the background. Sarah is feeling the joy of this perfect summer day. Boom, fire, heat, chaos. A propane tank explosion shatters Sarah's world. She wakes up in a hospital, machines beeping, pain crushing her body. Where am I? How did I get here? She pieces together what happened, but nothing feels real. The weeks that follow are grueling. The physical pain is relentless, but the emotional toll hits just as hard. She forces herself to look in the mirror. Swollen, bandaged, chunks of her hair gone. A stranger stares back. She is terrified by what's beneath the bandages. When Sarah finally comes home, she hopes to find comfort, a return to normalcy. But nothing feels the same. Her body is weak. She can't get dressed or play with Emma without pain and tight scars restricting her every movement. People look at her differently, and many keep their distance, just like I did with Andrew. Understandably, she doesn't trust them. She doesn't even trust herself. She thinks, if I couldn't keep myself safe, how can I keep my daughter safe? The memory of that day haunts her. At night, she wakes up in a cold sweat from nightmares. And during the day, the fear doesn't let go. At home, she stares at the stove. The click of the burner sends her heart racing. She swears she smells smoke. In the grocery store, she detects side stares, conversations pause, even if just for a moment, the silence fills the air. She pulls away, avoiding people and places. She'd rather be invisible. When Sarah first came to me, she said, I feel like a ghost of who I used to be, and no one gets it. That stuck with me because I knew she wasn't alone in feeling that way. Working with burn survivors like Sarah inspired me to create a comprehensive program that integrates mental health into burn care. Since 2021, in 4 years, we've helped over 1,300 burn survivors. At our burn center, every survivor, regardless of the severity of their injury, has access to mental health support. If you were to pop in on a session, you might see a burn survivor practicing breathing techniques to help manage pain, or confronting their trauma through exposure therapy, or connecting with others in a survivor support group. My patients have shared that talking about their trauma has empowered them, that managing their anxiety helped them endure painful procedures, and that finding community helped them feel less alone. Through compassionate mental health support and genuine human connection, Sarah gradually began to see her scars not as reminders of defeat, but as symbols of resilience and strength. Now she plays with Emma again, stands confidently in public, and even cooks, no longer controlled by fear. Sometimes I wonder if Andrew got that kind of support. If someone had the courage to break the awkward silence, to sit beside him and simply be his friend. If there was someone who helped him embrace his scars and feel whole again. These moments remind us that mental health care and programs that foster connection, whether through social support or trauma-informed therapy, are just as vital as wound care, and that psychological resilience is key to healing. Burn survivors deserve comprehensive care that includes both their body and their mind. This isn't just a dream, it's happening in places that have made mental health a priority, and it's working. Unfortunately, many burn centers still lack dedicated mental health support for their patients, unlike cancer centers, where it is a standard part of care. This leaves burn survivors to face the psychological toll of their injuries alone. We have the knowledge, tools, and research to change the standard of burn care. When mental health is treated as essential, burn survivors don't just heal, they thrive. Thriving is also about people. It's about connection, family, friends, support groups, even strangers that offer kindness instead of stares. It's the nurse who holds a patient's hand when they see their reflection for the first time. It's the first friend who says, "You are still you." It's the moment someone realizes that their worth isn't measured by their appearance, but by who they are. This kind of support doesn't just improve recovery, it transforms lives. If the 8-year-old me knew what I know now, I wouldn't hesitate. If I saw Andrew eating his mac and cheese at our school cafeteria all by himself, I would walk over and say, "I love your bow tie." I would ask him about how he got so smart at math, because I would want to know the secret behind that sharp mind and that unique style. When you leave here today and you see someone like my Andrew, someone who seems left out, the man with a missing limb, the woman in a wheelchair, the person with scars, don't look away. Connect with them, because in that moment, you're not just acknowledging them, you are telling them that they matter. And for someone with physical or emotional scars, that moment of connection can be life-changing. So choose connection over distance, courage over comfort, and action over hesitation. Because in the end, we heal together.